the crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter. Real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views. We'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions.
Ring Gang Radio.
But I just met Dario, from ringgangradio.com. And so that was fire. Like, nobody ever did that before. That was like fire. That was fire. It was nice to meet you. And
welcome to Ring Gang Radio. I'm PJ, your rep and moderator for this chat right now. We are going to be discussing Broner Vargas. We will start, and also just a shout out to Leon because I fucked up the order last time. Adrien Broner versus Jessie Vargas.
Biscuits is my guy. I fucks with him heavy, but he is what he is at this point. He's a gatekeeper. Like, I don't see where else he fits. I mean, he can't maximize his talents at 147. He can't make 140. So, like, what do you do with him? You know what I'm saying? Or what does he do with himself at this point? Like, he fits nowhere. I don't, I wouldn't go as far as saying, like, yeah, maybe he should retire or something like that. But because at that point, then I'm questioning maybe his heart isn't into it. But he clearly doesn't fit anywhere. And I honestly think, like, I kind of want to say, man, just focus on building that About Billions brand because, he got some decent fighters out there and he's, he pushes them, unlike a other certain promoter.
Who shall we name?
He who should not be named, but nah, I don't know where he fits anymore, man. And like I say, I'll still root for him. I still root for him to win. Hope he does well, but I just don't know where he fits.
I put my ashes out on these niggas. I thought this was one of the rare draws where it was kind of justified. Both dudes kind of neutralized each other. We got Dr. Pepper version of Mikey Garcia. We got Jessie Vargas had a little spiciness to him in that first half. He was outworking and really putting hands on Broner. I thought Broner woke up in the fourth round, started getting comfortable. I had him winning at least 2 rounds of the first 6. And I think Broner won like maybe 4 or 5 out of the second half, so I could see the 115, 113 card. But I could really see the 6 rounds apiece type of fight. Like Doc said, I don't know where the fuck Broner trying to go. I felt like he was on the edge of the cliff. He fought his ass off of it a little bit, like a couple steps away. And, his stock hasn't plummeted completely. He still could do some things, but my personal opinion, I think he still might be a little shell-shocked from the Chino fight. And only against certain styles he breaks out of it and he can let his hands go. Against the elite guys, it's harder for him to let it go. And you've seen that against Porter and Mikey. Vargas and guys like Emmanuel Taylor, they could press him. He throws his hands and, he edges him out. Same thing with Granados. But I finish off with saying I think Broner, they need to just do some shows in Cincinnati, Cleveland, whatever, in Ohio. Let him fight some top 30 fringe contender type niggas. And just give him some knockouts. Let him let his hands go to his heart's content. And he just get used to just shooting the fade and build himself back up and take a winnable name fight. Because credit to Broner, he always fighting tough dudes, but he can't dominate like he's supposed to, man. He's better than
who
Jessie
with
Vargas.
The grinder. Who got the grinder in the pack, bro?
I don't know who would do something like that.
Come on, man.
Baking soda. I got baking soda.
Yeah, niggas put the Young Jeezy shit on my ad libs.
Anyway, so when we were doing the predictions, I had it originally Broner by split decision 7-5. I flipped it to Vargas because I could realistically see how AB would be down halfway through the fight or 8 rounds through the fight and then say to himself, holy shit, I have to get back. Even after he realized that he was losing to Diet Mikey, the same way he was losing to normal Mikey, which in itself is pretty sad. He only brought the drama in the last minute or 30 seconds of the round. There was at least one or two of the last 6 rounds that he won by just, 4 like good punches in a 15-second span because Vargas was so gassed. All that being said, credit to Vargas for putting up a really good fight. I think the draw is well deserved. I think you could swing it 1 point either way, but a draw is a good consistent score. Without taking up too much time at the start, Kevin Cunningham seemed like he tried his absolute hardest. AB just don't want to listen.
We keep saying the same thing from Broner. I mean, this is a fight against Jessie Vargas. We had people on our podcast and online saying that Vargas, he has no business fighting AB and, it's going to be easy work. And AB did not separate himself from Vargas last night. It was a real close fight. I thought it could be a draw when I woke up yesterday. So I bet the draw. And it was. Jessie Vargas, salute. Thank you. Vargas, he, like everyone knows, he controlled most of the first half of the fight. He was beating Broner on sheer activity, and everybody knows that. All you have to do is be more active than AB, and you can win rounds from him. So, like Smoke said, he was winning rounds, landing big shots late in the round. With 1 minute to go, 30 seconds to go, and I thought in the 11th and 12th round Vargas was so gassed in the second half of the fight that he could have done just a little more and won those rounds definitively, where it was no doubt. And it seemed like he was almost he was content with the draw just because it'll extend his career that much longer versus an L. But he didn't see, it seemed like he was a little upset about the draw, but he didn't do enough in the fight where you was like, okay, he put it all out there. It was like in the 12th round, Cunningham told him, he was like, I need you to fight. Like, you need a knockdown. I need you to fight like that. He was like, he literally said this. He said, I don't know what's going on these judges' cards. And AB went out there and he was talking more shit than fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. Before this fight, I was saying this is like the same situation. If Broner looked good at the weigh-in, I was like, okay, he can definitely win this fight, and he should win this fight easy. And then, the weigh-in, he was over the first time by like 0.2 pounds, and then he had to strip to his skivvies, no homo, to make weight. And then I was like, okay, he made it on the second try, fine. And then in this fight, and I'm watching this, I'm like, God damn, Jessie Vargas is on, was on point today. It's like, why is he? Mike McCallum did a great job getting him ready because that body attack for like the first half of the fight was vicious. Vargas was putting clean hands. Broner is, for all his faults, is not the easiest person to tag clean, and he was tagging him clean. Like, yeah. And the thing is, and Vargas unfortunately does not have that type of power, and Broner has a good chin, so he was taking those punches like it was nothing, And then I was thinking, okay, maybe Vargas can do this for 12 rounds. He's gonna be on some real Mexican shit right now. And then he started tiring, and Broner, he got himself back in the fight, but he wasn't doing a whole lot, to get him back in the fight. Vargas was still throwing, but I'm thinking to myself, if Broner just lets hands go more, Cunningham is in the corner, let your fucking hands go. I don't know what's going on with these cards, man. All this shit he was saying in this corner, it was just going in one ear, going out the other. And yeah, Vargas was completely gassed, and Broner still gave those rounds away. So, I'm thinking to myself, The draw was definitely a result, but also I also saw it as maybe a 1-point victory for Vargas too, because it was that close a fight. But the thing is, though, it shouldn't have not been that close a fight. I mean, an old ass Pacquiao schooled Vargas, with no difficulty, wasn't rocked or anything like that, even dropped him. And you telling me that Broner can't do any better than that? I mean, come on. And this is one of the fights he needed to look good at. I mean, yes, the draw extended his career, but it's like, how many more of these fights do you need? Is he gonna have before it's like, people get tired of it. You get tired of the antics, but but it's not being backed up. So it was disappointing. It was a good fight. I'm not, and mostly because Vargas, gave forth a great effort, but it was just a fight that it's just like, okay, Broner, he says he won, but he didn't win. He didn't really win, and he was talking all this extra shit at the end. He was more fired up at the end of the fight than he was in the fight, and it's just like, where do you go right now? 147? You do more welterweight catch weights, or do you try to go down to 140 where you can at least be somewhat effective? Like, he's stuck in this weird space where if he fights at full welterweight and he fights some of the heavy hitters in there, it'll probably mean the end of his career. Or if he goes down to 140, he won't have the success because he'll have trouble making weight. So it's just a weird space that he's in right now, and it's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. I mean, I'm not a Broner fan, but you hate to see someone like that just be stuck in this weird space that he has control over, but just doesn't want to take the steps to actually do something about it.
Yeah, I see. Definitely so that it was an entertaining fight. I actually had Vargas to 115, 113, but I think a draw was okay. It's an okay result. And you pretty much all said what I wanted to, but I think Vargas showed really nice body work earlier on, and I was surprised that it didn't affect Broner the way I thought it could. And I think Vargas just not used to throw that many punches, and that's why he got gassed. I think maybe it would have been smart from him if he would break the action more in those earlier rounds. Maybe he would have more success in the second half then. But he went out with a good game plan, but his stamina wasn't up to par, I think. And when he ran out of gas, I think it was more Jessie Vargas running out of gas than Broner finding his form. But in the second half, Broner put together some nice combinations. He countered with the left hook, sometimes nice, especially when Vargas tried to land the straight right, overhand right. Like he often got countered by that. And Vargas was also effective with the left hook, I think, and with the body work. And overall it was a decent scrap. Broner stayed the same. Vargas stayed the same. We got to know that they are the same level, pretty much in the same level, and they are the upgraded gatekeepers. I would say they are the gatekeepers to elite level. They are not elite level themselves, but if you beat them clearly, you can be elite level. You can be among the top dogs. But if you can't beat them clearly, then you just you are not elite. You are on their level or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about this whole Broner situation. And I think he will definitely sell going forward. I think this is an entertaining fight. I don't think that people will stop tuning in after this. And I would like to see a rematch. I'm okay with other things too, but I would like to see a rematch. And I don't think that Jessie Vargas would be effective against the welterweight elite. I think he would beat Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman, all of them so is Broner, and I also think if Broner could make 140 like he did against Mikey Garcia, but I think he would still lose to the top dog to 140. Like I would not advise him to like fight Rich Progress, for example. That would be the best fight for him. Yeah, that's the time talk. Just thinking about it overall.
So, do you guys think that Broner, who's the new kind of catchweight king, do you think that 3 pounds made a difference in Diet Mikey gassing? I do think if they fought at the 147, the true limit, that those last couple rounds go a different way.
But as far as the main event, I can say that I was definitely wrong on how I thought the fight would play out, and I don't think his Broner stock went up, or it's neutral but trending more downward. Do think if the fight was at 147 that he would not have been victorious. I think that those extra pounds that Vargas did have to cut kind of played into him gassing late. But also kudos to Broner too, because he did kind of step it up as in the later rounds. So I was okay with the draw. I personally had Vargas by a round at the most. So when it was announced that it was a draw, I was okay with that. So but Vargas, he handled himself well. Not sure what they're going to do next with him. Would I be interested in seeing a rematch? Yeah, but only if it was at 147. It's not at 140. It's having to be at 147. Yeah, that's my quick take on it.
So I think that I think those 3 pounds, as Mal alluded to, kind of made a difference between Broner taking the L and Vargas gassing out. With that being said, touching to my original point that I made a week ago, it's sad that we even have to have this conversation because AB should have outskilled him. If AB can step it up to fight even 2 minutes out of every other round, he wouldn't have to deal with shit like this. I mean, the guy, I don't know if someone talked about it on the Kali or they talked about it on Showtime or whatever. He walks dudes down and has them in perfect position to punish them, pause, and then lets them go or just stands there.
Freeze, right.
So it's just kind of like, it's like, what are you doing, AB? And what is gonna get to him? A vicious knockout? I don't know.
I mean, my thing is, like, you keep in mind that Jessie Vargas wasn't the original opponent. It was Omar Figueroa. And imagine if it was Omar in the ring last night. And as we all know, Omar has a crazy work rate. Even if he's, like, out of shape, he still throws 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 punches in a fight. And a ball he can punch. Imagine if he was in there tagging Broner like that. It would have been a nightmare for him.
That's correct. That's true.
Broner seems to opt for he counter punches, but he seems to opt for defense instead of firing back shots. Like I noticed through the first half of the fight, it was like he was knocking every other one of Vargas's jabs down. I thought in those moments he could have been firing shots back, but it's like he wants to look a certain way instead of getting the job done. He wants to look flashy. It's a part of who he is, but I thought he had chances when he would get inside, like y'all said. When he was inside, he was doing good work, and I don't think that the 3 pounds are what y'all saying they are, because I thought that Vargas was tired like in the 8th, 9th round, and that was also the same time that AB was getting off on him. So I don't know. It wasn't like he got tired late in the fight. He was tired, and it was partly because his activity in the first half of the fight was so high.
He did like 100 and some punches in one round, like 113.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But he was getting caught clean a lot of times, and And AB was working his body too. You know, a lot of those factor in to him getting tired as quick as he did.
Yeah, I mean, he seriously had his foot on the gas for the first, after the fill-out round for the next, I don't know, 5 or 6 rounds. I don't have the scorecard in front of me, but you could basically look at it like it was Vargas first half, Broner second half. Broner got off with a lot of dirty tactics.
Yes.
Which good for him because he didn't get a point deducted even though he got talked to for a second. But he created that mouse, at least from what I think. I haven't rewatched yet, at least not in 1080p, from an elbow, not from a punch. And he was doing that thing that he does where he walks in, he gets hit with a jab or a right hand, then he ties up and pushes the guy away. And he does that now when he wants to take little breaks in the round. And he was able to get off using that pretty successfully last night.
I mean, it looked like Broner was really struggling to either keep his old style or try to do some of the stuff that he worked with Cunningham, because that's what it definitely looked like to me. It was just like he was like, one minute it's like, oh man, I gotta be defensive, or let me open up. I mean, his defense to offense, which has been an issue, it just wasn't flowing. And I think, and that was the one thing I took away from the fight. Just watching him fight, he just wasn't comfortable fighting a certain way, except when he was on the inside. And the inside he did good work, but it just seemed like he was having a lot of issues just trying to figure out how he wanted to fight Vargas, especially when Vargas was bringing so much pressure in the first half of the fight.
And he didn't capitalize on his momentum late in the fight either. Like I said, I thought he could have secured the 11th and 12th round because he had such good rounds, starting in, I can't remember which one it was, but I know 9 and 10. Yeah, 9 and 10, he had some great rounds, and he just, he would come out and be flat all over again.
Yeah, that was strange. Like Cunningham told him, like, yeah, you really need this round, the last round, and he just went out and kind of just sat back, like, I don't know. he definitely didn't turn it up. Like his coach said.
Fuck it, I don't need this fight.
The draw extends his career though. So.
I think the whole from the press conference of, I'm not gonna lose no fucking Jessie Vargas, to then seriously getting hands put on him by Jessie fucking Vargas for 6 or 7 rounds, you would think that right there would be a serious wake-up call. But as Leon was saying, in the 11th and 12th round, and Kevin Cunningham had to beg AB with everything he had to go out there and fight in the 12th, and he didn't even do it. He didn't start throwing punches until there was 30 seconds left. So
right.
I don't know. We got one dude who's not here right this second. Is a huge Broner fan, and that has got to be massively disappointing, because the dude can just consistently turns in performances where you're like, oh well, if he started da 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 da, or if one thing was different, but those things never are different.
But what do you think? Like, is this a conscious thing? Like, is he aware of that mistake? Like that he doesn't throw enough, and he just can't bring himself to throw more, or he really thinks that it's gonna be enough and it's not a problem?
I mean, LB and Pat have spent a lot of time in the ring. What do you guys think?
I mean, I just think for him. I mean, I think it's just maybe old habits die hard. I mean, he might have a mental block, because I know. I mean, he's talked about before, the Maidana fight having a huge, having a huge effect on him, and then the other fight that happened. I forgot the name.
Cologne fight. The Cologne fight.
Yeah, the first Khalid fight. Yeah, and because he said he was there and he watched and he saw what happened in the backstage and how that shook him to the bone. And I honestly think those are probably the two mental blocks that it's hard for him to actually change it. And Cunningham can say do this, do that, but Broner he can't make it. He can't fight for him. So I mean, he may never go. He may never get past that block. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
That's what I was saying. He need to fight lesser opponents. Like Broner need to be fighting some C- type dudes right now. Like we can shit on Jessie Vargas and yada yada yada, but Jessie Vargas is a solid B- fighter. I look at Broner as B+. And the style matchup, and Vargas is a dude that always brings effort to the table, no matter how hard he's getting outclassed. So a guy like him, he gonna bring effort to Broner, and Broner is like a dude that you could beat him with effort. So it was a tough fight for Broner from the start, but it shouldn't be because of the talent.
Yeah, the two judges, they scored the 12th round. The two judges that scored the fight a draw, they scored the 12th round. They split them between Vargas and Broner. So going back to what we were saying, if he could have secured at least one of those last 2 rounds, it would have made the difference in the fight.
And you also look, the first round was a toss-up round. So you come out hot, you start hot, you finish hot, you'll be good.
Yeah, I know. I just heard mention that Broner should be fighting lesser level opponents, which is true. But at some point, how long is that going to last before he got to do another step up fight, and he's going to be against somebody like who? Because I don't know, Danny Garcia. I don't know who can he match up with after he beat lower level people. Because
He could fight Danny Garcia. Broner and Swift is the urban fight to make.
That really would be everything you wanted to make.
That shit could be bananas. But they both gotta look good and have a little winning streak going. Like it gotta look promising. And we gotta see glimpses of the old Broner win fights and make the fans be on some, okay, I think he could get it this time.
Right.
Yeah,
What weight is he fighting at?
It gotta be 147.
What weight is Broner fighting at?
He need to just fight at 147 because I feel like he'll be stronger as well. Like he just don't let his hands go. He don't jab enough. He try to walk everyone down. His style flawed, not the weight. Like he can just let it.
Imagine him trying to walk down someone like Errol Spence. That.
But we had the whole Wu-Tang Clan this time though. So
exactly. So that's why I didn't mind.
So we're gonna start talking about old AB, like people talk about Prime Tyson, and it's like, oh, that was actually just a couple fights. As Leon was saying, if you don't know what weight you're fighting at, it makes it really difficult for people to get behind you, and especially when you keep turning in those just mail-in performances.
I'm trying to figure out who he can fight, like LB was saying, but I'm trying to figure out what weight he's fighting at first to determine that, right? Because at 140, there's opponents at 140 is wide open right now. He can't, especially Mikey just vacated, right, from 140.
Yep.
Yeah, so but I don't know. I can't see him beating Prograis. Like Prograis would
it's a fight he can make.
Yeah,
I don't advise right now. Like I think
that fight too dangerous for Broner.
I'm not saying it gotta be next. I'm just saying 140 is open if he gonna fight there. That's all I'm saying.
His greatest opponent is
fight.
Let him fight Iman.
He can fight Relic or Bartholomew or Ndongo.
Bartholomew's a good fight. You know what, Smoke? That's right.
I want to see him beat the scales.
Let Broner fight a bum or two. Come back and make that fight.
No, have him. So I said this after Mikey outclassed him for 12 rounds last year. I said
he emphasized that.
I know.
I said AB needs to go on a bum tour. He needs to do it up Euro style, fight 4 times in a year,
Career
and
mode.
fight, straight up, fight 4 dudes that are like D plus, C minus, knock them out in 3 rounds, and get that confidence back up that you can let your hands go, and then step back in. But next, I mean, you would think maybe Khan or the winner of Matisse Pacquiao.
Nah. Khan's all wrong.
Wrong.
I mean, so, in earlier podcasts, we've said that Pacquiao, some people have said Pacquiao's too old to put up a good fight with Loma, but now he's too good for Broner. That's funny.
Oh, here comes the audits.
No, it's funny.
If you're trying to cash out Broner, make the Pacquiao fight. That's what I would do. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Broner is gonna.
what else you gonna do? Unless you make the Swift fight. Every fight looks like a fucking cash out fight for Broner. I mean, Broner get his shit together, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
Broner, he's still gonna be a draw though. He should go back.
Yeah,
It's not like he want to go back to his hometown and fight. I don't know if the networks will let him, but he should go back to his hometown and do that UK shit.
Yep.
Get on career mode.
Yep.
Like you said, build up to maybe a
Midwest
Danny
career
Garcia
mode.
fight or something.
The
Right.
UK always has bodies.
You know, just fight more often. I mean, look, James Toney used to do it. Fucking Zab Judah used to do it. You know, when Zab lose a big fight, he start fighting some unknown, solid guys, though. And, he's under the radar, and, he's beating niggas' asses, getting knockouts, and then he come back, gets him a Tissé fight. He fucking wins that one, then, gets him another fight, loses that one, then he goes redemption mode again, starts fighting on the undergrounds and shit, comes back up, big fight. It's like a cycle, but the thing is, Broner not even doing the cycle because he's still fighting solid-ass niggas that match up bad with him.
But I'll give him that though. He'll get in the ring with solid. I'll give him that. Regardless how he look, he'll get in there with.
I thought you said Vargas was garbage though.
Yeah.
Hold on. Who said Vargas?
Who said Vargas was garbage?
Maul's.
Maul. I was at his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at his neck.
Y'all didn't listen to the fucking recording.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, more than one person said that AB was easily going to outclass Vargas. That was almost a consistent opinion.
Well, put him in there with Samuel Vargas next. Damn it, man! I got the wrong Vargas.
I mean, look, you saw the best of Vargas for 6 rounds, and you saw the best of Broner for like 6 rounds, and that's the type of fucking fight you got. Neither was good enough to give you the best of each other for 12 rounds.
It was just a showcase.
Yeah, that's kind of sad with the way you put it like that.
I mean, but shit is real though. I mean,
one of them is more
ring
talented. One of them is way more talented.
I would look at the outcome though.
Yep.
Yeah, what does it matter if the outcome doesn't match? Like,
the talent and skill don't mean nothing if you ain't gonna hustle your ass off, and that's what Vargas stays in fights.
Right. Do we start questioning the talent now? Then you know what I'm saying? Like the current talent that he's putting out. Like it's because you're only as good as your last few fights, and what we've seen out of him in his last few fights, you got to start questioning. All right, is he really as talented now since he's stepping up?
Broner always stepped up. It's just he's always been fighting solid competition. He is what he is right now.
But it's a big difference between Mikey Garcia and Jessie Vargas.
Yep.
That's
Diet.
Yeah,
Diet
but
Mikey.
there is. But Vargas is closer to Broner's level than Broner is closer to Garcia in a pound for pound in a pound for pound sense.
Yeah, especially the Vargas that got the jerk chicken special from McCallum right there.
I believe Broner got more talent than Mikey Garcia, but as a fighter all around, Mikey Garcia is like A class. He's like A plus. Broner is B plus in my opinion. He's still a whole score below this nigga.
Yep.
Side note, I would like to see Vargas fight again on a good undercard, because he put in a lot of effort last night, and against some of the lower like C class, B minus guys, it would be a pretty good entertaining fight.
Yeah, put him in against like Berto or something.
Berto.
Berto, really?
Hell yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that's a civil fighter, right?
Is Berto still fight? I mean,
Vargas would
that's the dude.
wash Berto.
Berto,
But I mean, I don't know.
Berto got that package.
I don't think so. For bad.
Oh,
bad.
fuck.
Hell, hey man, stimulus. No, Vargas would wash Berto. I'm talking
really
about.
bad.
He'd be your favorite.
I'm just saying, as much as we're talking about AB, Vargas makes entertaining fights, and he actually does put the effort forth.
Yeah, you gotta give him that.
And it might sound like I'm going hard on AB, pause, but it's just like we've seen what the talent level should be, and it's kind of like, oh really, that's what you're gonna do?
Yeah, that's how it's looking here. All right, so I feel that we have gotten through a lot here. I'm sure we could go and do more manifestos, but let's wait for news with his report of being live on the scene, behind the scenes. So we are going to give this a close here. Thank you for listening to Ring Gang Radio. We will catch you all later.
The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clanarchy for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions.
Ring Gang.